As a personal coach, spiritual business consultant, and visionary thought leader, he continually finds ways to share the new thought philosophy in paradigm shifting ways. Welcome, Dr. Robert.
Hello again, dear ones. So good to be with you, and so soon. I almost made my head spin how quickly an invitation to come back and visit you again came into my email. So thank you for that. Thank you to Reverend Barb. I know she's recovering well and is looking forward to being back with you again real soon. So thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure to be here with you again on a beautiful. It's a very snowy. The snow has ended here in Colorado for the weekend, so it's a very bright but snowy type of morning, and crisp and clear, and such a beautiful, glorious day to be with you. I hope it's a glorious day where you are, whether you're in Canada or whether you're watching from somewhere else in the world, or maybe even at another time. We appreciate you being with us here at CSL on the Lake. Okay, today's talk title is Beyond the Beyond. And for those that remember my last visit, we spoke about Vision 2025 and beyond. And in that talk, to give you a quick refresher, we came to a conclusion, or I did, that how amazing it would be if across the planet we had a moniker that identified us as a New Thought Center. And moving from the denominationalism of whether it's religious science or unity or divine science into a more inclusive experience of spiritual community and spiritual and a global spiritual community. Well, I got thinking about that. And when I was asked for the talk title for today, I realized we had to go beyond where we ended, and we ended with the beyond. And that got me thinking of spirals. I'm a big student of spiral dynamics, and I'm not here to try to teach you spiral dynamics today. So if your mind just went, oh no, don't worry, we're not talking about colors and V memes and all that stuff today. What I want us to think about today, however, though, is, and many of us know this, life works in cycles. Our lives, our experiences cycle. We get, um, well, yeah, things come around, the things that go around come around. And what I realized was I'm starting to see for myself a reemergence of that cycle. So, what is beyond the beyond? The same stuff we've always been doing. There's more beyond that too. But in that daily, weekly, monthly, yearly cycle that we travel as human beings, I want us to remember that the path of the cycle, the path of the spiral is ever upward and it's ever moving outward. The spiral moves us up and out. So we may find ourselves in similar situations to where we were last week or last month or last year or 20 years ago. But we are a different person. We have a different consciousness as we reach this place along our spiral. Now, I don't know about you, but since the last time we spoke, life's kind of changed. Some places things have gotten kind of weird. Some places, people that I are acting in ways I wouldn't have anticipated those people to act. And in some ways, I'm acting in ways that I didn't anticipate I would act or respond. Right now, I think in human history is an amazing opportunity for everyone to tune in to what we're doing inside, how we're internalizing, how we're processing the events of the day, but most importantly, what we are out picturing back into the world, how we respond to those snarky comments on Facebook, or what kind of comment we leave when someone attacks us. I can't count how many times in the past month or so I've referred back to Ram Dass and his classic thought that when they throw arrows, we throw back hearts. I got to be honest with you. I've been throwing some razor-edged hearts lately. I've been throwing some hearts wrapped in barbed wire lately. And while I love my friends and family and fellow human beings, um, there are some I don't like very much lately. I imagine many of you can have had similar experiences. And I've been struggling with this because I know intellectually in my mind, I know that if I throw back arrows, well, they just got more arrows to throw back at me. And the more arrows they throw back at me, the more arrows I have to throw back at them. If you've ever found yourself trolling through a stranger's Facebook page to try to find something you can use against them, you know what I mean. And then we wake up to something. In the midst of all of this, we know intellectually how to move forward in our lives in a way that keeps us moving and is not detrimental, not hurting anybody. I have long said, we're making up this thing called life as we go along. I encourage you to make it up out so it works for you as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. And that means I have to be very careful of what I create and what I make up so I'm not inadvertently hurting someone else. Now, not everybody sees it that way. I get that. That's okay. But that's not us. That's not the people I have come to know in over 20 years of traveling around the New Thought movement. That's not us. That's not who we are as religious scientists, as spiritual beings. I found the Center for Spiritual Living, actually at that time called the Church of Religious Science, in Salt Lake City in the fall of 2001. And it wasn't long after finding the church that I was really diving in. I've often said I'm a heavy user and an early adopter. I adopted the philosophy as early as I found it, and I started using pretty heavily. That's another habit I've changed in my life. And in those early years for me, there were a number of things that were instrumental. Coincidentally, one of them was the song we just listened to, Daniel Nahmod in One Power. Being in Salt Lake City in those years was a great time because we had a great relationship with Daniel at that time, and I believe that community still does. He was the music director for a retreat in Montana known as the Big Sky Retreat, which now is no longer there. But during those years, Daniel would fly into Salt Lake City and drive up to Big Sky, which is the best way to do it, which means he always had a weekend before and a weekend after, and we'd have him in for concerts and all kinds of workshops, and it was always an amazing time. And his music truly influenced my adoption of New Thought. So to the universe and the human person that made that decision on that song this morning, thank you very much. It was a great to have that anchored in here. The other thing, however, that was so important was the global heart vision. Now, over the years, United Centers and International Centers and blah, 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 and mergers and come together and all that kind of blah, 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 blah. Things got changed. And things got changed, and I understand that. But to me, this is one of those places where the original holds for me the most. And I want to share that with you now. We envision the emergence of the global heart to balance and guide the further evolution of humanity as stewards of our planet and all its inhabitants. We see a world free of homelessness, violence, war, hunger, separation, and disenfranchisement. We see a world in which there is a generous and continuous sharing of heart and resources. We envision a world in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. We see a world in which borders are irrelevant. We see a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. We see a world in which fellowship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. The next couple have a little organizational language I'm going to shift just so much. We envision the New Thought movement as a bridge across the illness and illusion of separation, thereby dynamically empowering the vision of the global heart. And we envision the New Thought movement as united and actuated by this compelling vision of a healthy world, a world experience of the global heart. And we are ardently committed to bringing this vision forth through our ministries and its transformative teaching. We see the New Thought movement as a global community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family, thereby bringing the gift of active compassion and kindness to the world. Our ministries, communities become points of inspiration and influence, effectively advancing the vision of the global heart to benefit all expressions of life. And I turn to that again and again. And I look to that document so often because no matter what's going on in the world, there's something in that vision that speaks to it. I've been, I'll say, entertained by the discussion that's been going on around the naming of various bodies of water around our planet currently. I've been entertained by some of the considerations that are happening, and I want to know, I want y'all to know, I've seen it. You Canadians, you're getting a little riley up. You're getting a little up in arms up there. I can see it happen. I saw one the other day that had Canada marked as Canada, Alaska marked as Western Canada, Greenland marked as Eastern Canada, the United States marked as Southern Canada, which I thought was a particularly good move, by the way, and Mexico marked as the Canadian Riviera. I'm all right with that. I could get behind that. What the heck? Let's try it. Because we live by this is not a new vision. This document's been around longer than I have, and I've been around the movement for 20 plus years now. So this might be going on 30 years old at this point. And for 30 years, we have had people over and over and over again reading these documents, sharing these ideas, and that the one I love the most, we envision a world where borders are irrelevant. Borders are created to separate us. Borders were created to divvy up the wealth. Take a moment, just for a moment, imagine. What if borders were truly irrelevant? Then the natural migration of life would happen. We would have free trade. I believe if we weren't arguing about who owned what and how much of it was ours and how do we get yours, we'd have more energy to feed those that don't know how to feed themselves and to clothe those that are having a hard time and to give every person on this planet a roof. And not just a tarp to huddle under, but a home, a place to feel warm and safe. See, people say that this document is aspirational and it's never going to happen in our lifetime. And all we're doing is setting things up for the next generation. Oh, okay, if that's true, so be it. If all I'm doing is making the world a better place for the next generation, I'm okay with that. Or maybe it's not even my kids that are going to see it. Maybe it's their kids. Maybe it's three, four, five generations. Maybe it's people that are never even going to know my name who will embody and be able to live this without question, without it being an aspirational, where it doesn't say we envision. It says we live in a world where there is generous and continuous sharing of heart and resources. We live in a world in which forgiveness from errors, injustices, and debts is the norm. We live in a world that emphasizes the beauty and the nature and the love through creative arts and aesthetics. We live in a world where the fellowship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance and spiritual wisdom of the one. What's beyond the beyond? Exactly where we came from, but from a higher view, from a higher perspective, and dare I say, from a higher consciousness. Another phrase I have heard repeated strongly, and not just in the past month, a statement that felt like it was somehow lost in New Thought for a while. Consciousness is everything. Consciousness. The consciousness that you bring to the party. And what the Global Heart Vision calls us to is a set of guiding principles, a set of guiding ideals. And if we bring our consciousness to this and say yes, then there is no power in the universe that can deny us. We envision the emergence of the global heart. Okay, I am witnessing the global heart in action, balancing and guiding the evolution of humanity as stewards of our planet and all its inhabitants. In the coming days, you'll be seeing, I hope, I trust, if the team's doing the work that we all are saying we're doing, you're going to see a recreation, if you will, a I've been struggling with how to really present this because I'm not trying to rewrite the global heart vision. We did that. And truthfully, I don't think very many people liked it. Truthfully, because I don't hear our churches using it. I don't hear our communities using it. I don't hear our ministries using it. And I think that now, today, more than ever, with what the world is facing, because what I am afraid many of my country colleagues have not awoken to just yet is this is not an entirely American concern. This is not an entirely American experience. If anything, this helps us to see even more clearly the interconnectedness of all, how deeply we truly are one. And to my colleagues and friends in South Africa, well, we know the oneness is there. And we respect the response that so many are having to the initiatives of the American government currently, regardless of what country you're in. Personally, I think living in southern Canada might be a kind of groovy thing. I don't know. Might want to come to northern Canada someday soon too. We are one, and there is only one. So in the coming days, you will see a re-envisioning of the global heart vision. I'm not changing a lot of words. I'm not changing awful much. I keep in the essence. I'm keeping everything. I'm just changing a little bit of language here and there to make it a little more impactful for today's audience. For the people that are on the spiral where we are, or maybe still traveling up the spiral and need an aspirational vision and need something to strive for and need something to reach for. But in order for that to work, there have to be those of us that are farther up that spiral saying, this is a done deal, folks. Yes, you envision, because I'm standing up here with it in my hands. And there's so many of us. Today more than ever, right now more than ever, I believe it is imperative for the New Thought movement as a whole to let go of our false belief in denominationalism, separation, and silos, to step into a greater understanding of oneness and a greater demonstration of that oneness wherever we go. No matter what they throw at you, throw back hearts, throw back love. There is one power. It's the power of love. Daniel started us there. And that's where I'd like to bring us to prayer and the power of love. If you're in a safe space to close your eyes, I invite you to please do so. Join me in that place of knowing that there is only one love, one power, one presence, one intelligence, one self-existent cause that is forever taking on form and experience and abandoning that form, that experience. The oneness reveals itself as my life perfectly, whole, complete, nothing missing, nothing absent. And as I know that of my life, I know that of the lives of each and every one that are on this broadcast, that are watching this experience live, everyone that's watching this at another time, maybe even from another dimension, maybe 30 off years in the future. We are creating a vibration together, a ripple of energetic vibration together. We are creating together a new consciousness, an expanded consciousness, a higher consciousness, one that does not say we shall get there someday, but one that says, I will affirm we are here today. A consciousness that knows you are my brother, you are my sister, you are my sibling. Together in consciousness, we are one. Where two or more are gathered in consciousness, there is the one. We are each in our own way a demonstration of this glorious global heart vision. Whether we've heard this every day for the last 20 years or this is a brand new idea, we are each a conduit through which this global heart vision reveals itself. This I know. This is the truth I claim. You, who you are, matters. Who you are makes a difference, for who you are is the divine expression of God. You are an expression of the oneness, bringing itself into form so that all of life may be lifted up. If not us, who? And if not now, when? And so I know there is nothing more than to say yes, to surrender into the divine calling of spirit, the divine calling of God, and say yes. Listen, I hear the heartbeat. Listen for your heartbeat. That is the sound of the global heart, loving humanity. We are creating a love evolution. Not a revolution, an evolution. We are creating an evolution that is driven by the power of unwavering, unconditional, absolute love. Love is all you need. But we must throw hearts everywhere we go. I am so very grateful, grateful to be in this moment, grateful to be part of this vision, grateful to allow these words to flow through me, most especially grateful to be in community with so many amazing people. Grateful to know that as we loose this word, as we loose this prayer into the energetic law of the universe, into the law of creation, into that universal law of creation, that law must take up this word and demonstrate, must take up this word and manifest, cannot return this word void. It is already done in the mind of the one. It is happening right now. The universe, the divine law bringing everything necessary together to fulfill this vision as your life. And that is why you are here. To say yes in service to this glorious global heart vision. And we let it be so.